today I'm going to be doing a video on, well, you can see from the title, I'm going to be doing a video on how to grow natural hair. Because everybody keeps asking me, oh my gosh, Stacey, how did you grow your natural hair so fast? It took such a short time, da da da. And I'm just like, I give them tips. Like, I give them tips on how to grow their hair. But like, everybody's just like, make a video on it, make a video on it. So I'm just like, okay, I'll just make a video on it. I'll just let you guys know what's on my paper. I try to think of as many tips that I can remember, but I'm just go right into it. Number 1, remember that your hair doesn't grow overnight. That's one mistake that everybody makes, because everybody's just really impatient when it comes down to growing their hair. They want it to grow overnight. They don't love their hair. They want their hair to reach right here. They want their hair to be all big, but it takes a long time as a process. So that's my first tip when it comes down to growing natural hair. Remember that it takes a while. It takes a lot of effort. It doesn't just grow overnight. So just remember that. Number 2, use the right products for your hair. Figure out what type of hair you have. Everybody has different hair. Not everybody has curly hair. Not everybody has kinky hair. Not everybody has straight hair. Everybody has different hair, so you have to figure out what products work best for your hair. And when you figure out the products that work best for your hair, you have to remain consistent. You can't do one thing and then do it in 2 months. Like, you have to be consistent. If it's like a protein treatment, then figure out like how often you want to do that. So like, if it's a protein treatment, you can do it like once a month. It depends on the type of hair that you have. So you have to figure out what type of hair that you have, because not every product works best for your certain type of hair. That's why you don't just ask anybody, oh, what type of products do you use for your hair? Because you might not have the same hair texture that that person has. You have to figure out what type of hair you have. Not everybody has high porosity hair. Not everybody has low porosity hair. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just figure out what type of hair that you have, and then go from that and figure out what products work best for your hair. Remember that's really critical. Like, even if the hair product is up there, like Shea Moisture, you realize Shea Moisture has different type of products for different type of hair. Like, they'll have some products for damaged hair. They'll have some products for like curly hair. So that's my second tip, is to figure out what type of hair that you have and go from that when it comes down to picking out the hair product that works best. So that's number 2. Number 3, protect those ends. Protect those ends. That is so critical. When they say when your hair grows faster, it's not really your hair is growing faster. It's your ends are being protected. I don't know why I see so many things flying. I know y'all see that. We just gonna ignore that. But when they say your hair is growing faster, yeah, your hair might grow thicker, but there's no such thing. When your hair grows faster, your ends are just not breaking. So like, for your hair to grow faster and grow longer, you have to protect your ends, because your ends tend to break and then your hair doesn't grow, or it doesn't look like it's growing. But when you protect those ends, your hair looks like it's growing. So that's my 3rd tip when it comes down to growing natural hair. Make sure you protect those ends. Like, sometimes once in a while, put some protective hairstyles in. And I'm not saying, like, you see how I have braids in, you don't put braids in, leave it in for a month, and then like take it out and put it right back in. You have to give your hair a break as well, because like, when you keep putting protective hairstyles in your hair, that's when your hair gets thin. So you have to kind of balance the two. If you constantly put products in, no, not products. If you constantly put in protective hairstyles, weave, braids, twists, anything like that, and you don't give your hair a break, your hair gets thin. But if you leave your hair out too much and you constantly manipulate it, constantly comb it, your ends start breaking off. If you walk outside all the time while it's cold and you don't protect your ends, you don't put oil, you don't put moisturizer, your ends break off. So you have to balance both, like putting your hair in protective styles and leaving your hair out. So that was another tip that I had on my paper. I already went to it, but I'll talk about it again or go further into it. So that was my 3rd tip. My 4th tip is to try not to manipulate your hair all the time. That is so critical. Natural hair, any hair, don't manipulate. Ugh, gosh, Stacey, come on. Manipulate your hair all the time. Don't. When I say manipulate, don't always, like, I know you have to detangle your hair, but when you detangle your hair, first of all, this is another tip. First of all, natural hair is already complex. Natural hair is is already tangled or like gets tangled easily. When you comb your hair, you have to comb your hair in sections. I didn't write that down, I forgot, but I just remembered. When you comb your hair, you don't just start combing it anyhow. You don't comb your hair when it's dry, because that's when your ends are like the weakest. Well, no, actually your ends are the weakest when your hair is wet, but you don't comb your hair when it's dry. You kind of moisturize it a little bit, and then you section the hair into sections, like maybe 4 sections, 8 sections, it doesn't matter. And you comb it from the ends to the top. And when you comb your hair has to be moisturized at that point. It can't be dry. So that was another tip. But let me go back to manipulating your hair. Don't manipulate your hair all the time. Don't always comb your hair. Don't always put your hair up. Like, for the natural ladies, if you're always putting your hair in a puff, for example, if you're always putting your hair in a puff, don't put it in a puff and you feel tension. Never. If you feel tension, that means your puff is too tight. Never. Ever, 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 ever. First of all, that's uncomfortable. So you know you're feeling pain. And you know it's uncomfortable. So why would you leave your hair like that? It's damaging your hair in the first place, and you're feeling pain and discomfort. So you might as well just loosen it up a little bit. Like, when I put my hair in puffs, I don't make it tight at all. Because when you make it tight, you're straining your edges. You're straining everywhere. And you're making your hair weaker. So don't always manipulate your hair. So that's the 4th tip. 5th tip. We talked about this a little bit. But like, know if your hair is high porosity or low porosity. I don't want to go too much into it because I have so many other tips that I want for y'all to know. And I'm already at 8 minutes. So I'll probably make another video on the difference between low porosity hair and high porosity hair, but I'll give you guys a little bit. I have low porosity hair, and low porosity hair is like hair that doesn't really take in a lot of moisture. Like, I have to constantly put stuff in my hair for my hair to remain moisturized. And my hair also doesn't like heavy stuff. Like, I used to put shea butter on my hair all the time. My hair doesn't like shea butter. My hair likes things that are kind of on like the, you know, I don't want to say thinner side, but like oils that aren't too thick. Like, my hair doesn't like coconut oil. My hair likes, you know what I'm saying, like lighter stuff. So that's low porosity hair. And then high porosity is like your hair retains a lot of moisture, like a lot. So like, know the difference between your hair. Know if your hair is low porosity hair or high porosity hair, and you can test that by taking a strand of your hair and putting it into water. If it stays on top, your hair is low porosity. If it goes in, your hair is high porosity. And there's also normal porosity. If you guys have more questions on that, I'll make another video. You guys can comment that down below, and I'll make more videos on it. But that was my 5th tip. I'm sorry, I keep, because my mouth keeps, okay. My 6th tip is, I'm sorry, y'all. I had something in my throat. My 6th tip, to eat a healthy diet. So at first, I was like, why does your diet have anything to do with your hair? Like, why does it matter? Like, why? Oh, why? Like, I was so confused. Like, why? Like, why can't I just take the pill? Like, why? But it really is important. Like, your diet has everything to do with everything. Like, even your diet has to do with weight gain, weight loss, and that's how it also affects your hair as well. Like, if you eat a lot of healthy food, your hair is gonna grow faster. So that's another tip. Eat a healthy diet and drink a lot of water. 7th tip, always have constant protein treatments and deep conditioning treatments, because there will be times where your hair needs more moisture and you need something more than a leave-in conditioner. And then there'll be some times where your hair is feeling weak and it needs more protein. So you need to balance the two. You can't always do protein treatments because your hair is going to be brittle and needs moisture. And you can't always do deep treatments because your hair is going to need, you know, protein. So you have to make a schedule. Like what I was talking about before, balance. You have to balance protein treatments and deep treatments. And always be consistent. You don't just do one deep treatment and then 5 months later do another one. You have to be consistent with it. My 8th tip, include biotin in your diet. I feel like this is where my hair grew faster. And not just growing faster, but my hair was thicker. I included biotin into my diet, and you can get either the 5,000 milligrams or the 10,000, but the 10,000 is a little bit overboard, so you can just get the 5,000 milligrams. If you have more questions on that, comment down below. But include biotin in your diet because it makes your hair thicker, like a lot thicker, and I feel like it increases your growth, because when I took biotin, I saw growth in my hair. So if y'all are listening to this and y'all take it, y'all can let me know if it helped your hair grow or if your hair got thicker. But that's another tip for me to include biotin in your diet. And if you don't want to take the biotin pills, you can include foods that have biotin in your diet. The one con with the biotin pills is like it makes your face break out. So like when you take biotin pills, you have to drink a lot of water. So yeah, remember that. My ninth tip is always moisturize your hair. Always moisturize your hair. The breakage of your hair mostly happens when your hair is dry. So you have to make sure your hair is always moisturized, especially in the winter seasons. When you walk outside the house and your hair is dry and you're outside in the cold, your ends brittle. They become brittle and your ends start breaking off and your hair starts breaking off. So you have to make sure your hair is moisturized. And I'm pretty sure all of you guys know that, but really moisturize your hair. Especially with natural hair. Natural hair tends to dry up or absorb moisture really fast. So make sure your hair is always moisturized. If it has to do with moisturizing your hair 2 times a day, 3 times a day, I don't know. But figure out how much moisture your hair needs and moisturize your hair. 10 tip, trim your ends. I already spoke about that. Or did I? I don't remember. I'm just speak more about it. But trim your ends. Make sure you trim your ends. I know how they always say, oh my God, why should I trim my hair? Oh my God, it's making my hair shorter. It really does help. Trim your ends, because when you don't trim your ends, it tends to climb on your hair. Your split ends start to rise and your hair is going to end up breaking off. So make sure you always trim your ends. Always trim your ends. My 11th tip is to always tie your hair when you go to sleep. So I don't know how y'all sleep, but when I sleep, that's I turn, twist, this, that. So like imagine what's happening to your hair. You're asleep, you don't have a bonnet on, and you're sleeping. You're gonna start twisting your head, doing nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So like you have to make sure your hair is tied up. And when you tie your hair up, you can't just use anything to tie it. It has to be satin. Don't use a cotton. No. You need to have a satin bonnet or something around that, just to protect your ends and protect your hair. Because you don't want to be over here rolling on the bed and then your hair is, we don't want that around here. And then my last tip on here was to do protective hairstyles. And I kind of talked about that. Yeah, I talked about that. Do protective hairstyles. Don't always leave your hair out all the time. It really does affect your hair. Like okay, I just thought about something. Like blow drying your hair. If you know you don't have to blow dry your hair, don't blow dry your hair. Air dry your hair. I've never blow dried my hair ever in my life. If I did, it was not my hair ever in my life. I've never blow dried my natural hair ever in my life. Ever. Why? For what? And if you're blow drying your hair, do it on low heat or just on cool. You don't have to blow dry your hair. Like, sometimes I'll just go outside and I'll have my hair out and I'll just like turn like woo, like let my hair air dry outside. It's fun. You don't have to blow dry your hair. Like you really don't. So if you don't have to blow dry your hair, why do it? When you blow dry your hair with heat, you're drying your hair up. It's gonna break off. So like try to air dry. That was my last tip, y'all. Let me think. Are there any more tips? I'm already at 17 minutes. I can't really think of any more tips. I can't think. But if y'all have any more questions about how to grow natural hair, or if you have any more videos you guys want me to do, comment that down below. Don't forget to subscribe. Put your notifications on. I feel like I'm forgetting something. I can never remember. I really feel like I'm forgetting. There's a lot of tips I can think of when it comes down to growing your hair. And if y'all want me to do a part 2, maybe I can do a part 2, because I feel like there's so many tips when it comes down to growing your hair. But like, be patient. Love your hair where it is, because all natural hair is beautiful. All natural hair. It doesn't matter if it's short, long, medium, curly, coily, straight. It doesn't matter. All natural hair is beautiful. Love yourself. Don't be like, oh my god, I wish my hair was like this or that. Love your hair. Really, like, it really helps. Like, when you love your hair, you see a difference. But okay, guys, make sure you thumbs up my video. And what was I about to say? I forgot. But make sure you like my video. Make sure you subscribe, like I said. I hope you guys really did enjoy my video. And like, if you have anything like you guys want me to do a video on, like I said, make sure you comment that down below. Ooh, I'm about to go for show. I hope y'all love my video again. Bye bye to the loop. I don't want to leave y'all. I feel like bringing something up. My video's already on 19 minutes. Yeah, let me just go. All right, guys.